nice into the void, but you don't have that option because you already have the offlane Timber. Mid Doom does seem kind of bad at the moment, and so does safe lane Doom, of course. Suppose you still could go into something like the Razor as well. We saw safe lane Razor the other day, and it can be pretty darn strong in the right draft. Just being able to kind of link away the void. But for now, they're going to go for the Oracle. So that's one way to deal with it. Just have the Oracle throughout that chrono. Of course, Fate's Edict going to be very annoying, just kind of disarming the void. And you've also got that false promise to just kind of guarantee he can't really kill anyone. Phil, see how they want to respond to this. Not really too much being revealed quite yet for Wind and Rain. There's still a lot on the table here.
Yeah. I love the Oracle, as you mentioned, very good against the Void, so you can save whoever's chronoed. Now is the... Yeah, it kind of counteracts that, but Wind and Rain go into the Wraith King, which is also a great way of stopping the Void from getting a lot of value. So even if you kill the Wraith King in the first life, he's going to have, you know, his reincarnation up. You don't have natural mana burn on the Void. You don't really want to go for Diffusal as well. On Faceless Void, I don't reckon. It's not one of the heroes that really enjoys the change Diffusal. The slow is nice, but you don't tend to feel like you need it. So we'll see what the itemization will be like from Tay. Wind and Rain has a lot of sustain going on for their end. Just being able to live throughout a lot of these engagements. And I mean, they have some response to the AA. Like, that's still going to feel great into the Oracle. You get the Ice Blast off, False Promises. You might not kill someone, but if they do live through that initial burst, as long as the AA's debuff lasts, you're not going to get more HP out of it as well. So it's a bit of a back and forth in that sense. The combination is lining up. You've got Ice Blast, Chrono, and Kisses coming through for Felt. And they've got the protection of Stampede if they are in a sticky situation there. So I think Felt's draft is looking a bit more lined up here already compared to what we saw in Game 2. Wind and Rain and Felt are both looking for mid lane matchups, though. And I like that Wind and Rain take care of the Invoker. They don't want the Cataclysm combos to fly out. I think they've got to watch out for heroes like the Queen of Pain. Just building into the Chrono, having that big AoE damage flying out could be great for Felt to play with. That should be one of the considerations for the next ban out. But you see Felt taking care of the Storm, and the Quap is taken out by Wind and Rain. So if they are respecting the Wombo combo here from Felt.
That they are. One more ban to go and we'll see these drafts be completed. I thought the Wraith King would be quite nice for Wind and Rain here into that Void, but you still have so many answers for it. So, see if they can make it work. Because if they can replicate what happened last game and just buy all the space in the world, of course, the Wraith King is going to be a massive problem. It's kind of similar in that way to the Medusa, where it just wants to farm for a while, but I suppose that kind of is every safe lane carry out there. Well, still going to have a think about this final ban out, but they'll get rid of the Leshrac this time around. Suppose if you wanted the Ember again for Wind and Rain, you could go down that route, as it has not been banned out, but they only went for the Ember that last time because it was up against the Void Spirit. Just definitely a favorable matchup for the Ember. This time around, they won't have the luxury of seeing what Yellow Flash is going to pick up. So it might be a bit of a harder choice here for Wind and Rain. You do need some kind of tempo setter, though, I think, for the mid lane. Unless you're just going to play a very, very slow-paced game. You want someone to be able to play with this Timber and this Enchantress. And they are going to go for the tiny pickup.
It's a great way of setting that tempo. It's exactly what you were looking for. You hit your level 6, you hit your blink timing, you run around the map, burst some heroes down. It's going to be really nice to play into that aggression that Wind and Rain wants, and it can still scale into the late game. You go for the Ag Shard, you go for Echo Saber, AC is what we tend to see. So it could still work out really nicely towards the late. You've got 2 win conditions on Tiny Wraith King, and that does cover most of the bases here for Wind and Rain. Felt, seeing that Tiny, you can kind of bully it out here. I think a really nice option would be something like Alina. You have decent wave clear, you can play around with the Chrono while outside it still. You can go for right click, you can go for burst, going for the Agnims and Ag Shard for getting a lot of damage off in a straight line. I think that could be a really good way for Felt to close out. If not the Lina, you don't have too many options left. You could maybe go for a Spirit Brother, but it doesn't really combo well. with the Chrono. They go with the TA, which is fair enough. Like, it's a lot of minus armor to really melt some of these softer cores. Tiny, in particular, has 0 base armor. So the TA should have a decent time in harassing out with the side blades early on in the lane. And we have seen TAs actually look really nice. I think TA with the Agnim's rush over the Blink is probably the way to go, because the traps with the Ags are just ridiculous. And you get the Ag shard on top with a silence. It is really strong. I think you can actually bypass the Blink, just rush the Desolator, go for the Ags build up, and you can still play around with Chronos. It's a great pick from Felt to tie it up. It does look like it does look like we have Tay on the TA, so he's back to mid. Yellow Flash taking the safe lane faces Void, going back to their original roles before the subs came in. And Wind and Rain, we've got to see what Kits can do on that Tiny. Again, very sensitive in timing. If you start to lag behind on the Blink timing for Tiny, it can feel like it's not doing much in the game.
That it can, John. We'll see how this game does pan out. I do like the switch up here. I wonder how Yellow Flash does go in that safe lane on the Void. I mean, hell, you never know. He might still go into the mid lane, because we have been seeing a bit of TA safe lane popping up as of late. So you never really know. It doesn't seem like it'd be so bad either, into the mid Tiny. What can he do? After Avalanche Toss, you just time walk it off, and nothing really ever happened. But we'll get into it. We'll see what they're up to here in game number 3. Wind and Rain up against Team Felt.
Prepare for battle.
Of course, Yellow Flash is indeed going to go up to the top lane, so they're not going to run any kind of shenanigans here. They'll throw Tay into the mid lane. Though I would have loved to see a mid lane Void, John. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, I think this matchup's way too good for a TA, though. Like, initial levels, maybe it feels awkward, because Tiny, with the tree grab, does have pretty nice attack range to be safe. TA is very short range for a ranged hero until some of those side blades come in. Once you do have the side blades up, the issue here for Tiny is that, again, you have 0 armor. And here's Koya Niskatsi again. There he is.
I noticed
with
how
the old memes.
In game 2 he was a little bit quiet, John, and that didn't work out for them. So it seems like he's gonna get started again.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think that's key. Like, just get into their heads here from Felt's side. Just work this little worm of Koya Niskatsi into their heads, force them to mute him, and then he wins. You know, that's how you win Dota 2, right, Mike? You out-tilt your opponents, you force a mute, and even Tay's just going in with the all chat and Cyrillic. It's like, all right. I don't know if anyone can read that, but that's pretty cool.
Hey, if they can't read it, John, you automatically just kind of win. They can't really say much back. It's going to be a 3-for-1 trade on the bounties as well. Yellow Flash able to sneak one away on the Void. Sabo, he's going to try and chase him down for a little bit. In fact, Koya Niskatsi did kind of call it. He did say, oh, a triple earlier on, so there you go. Maybe that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, it looks like, well, he's a man that can predict the future. They get a really good start for Felt already. They've got an interesting lane to run up top. They've got Yellow Flash in the Faces Void, along with the AA played by Koya Niskatsi. And it's his turn to harass out on the AA. We study AA in game 2 from the side of Wind and Rain. Actually do a lot of harassment. Let's see if he can start zoning out. This is a bit of a toughie. Sword is on that Timbersaw. Sabo is on the Enchantress. And there is some decent damage Sword can do. You have to remember that the cooldown on Time Walk level 1 is 24 seconds, so it's much less than the potential harassment window coming out from Wind and Rain. And if they want to bully out Flash, they've got to do it in these initial levels before more points go into that Time Walk.
Certainly so. Of course, we'll have a look at the other lanes as well. John, mid lane. Tay is going to be up against Kits. It's the first time Tay is going to be in that mid lane this series, but it's good to see him back and see what he can get done here up against this mid Tiny. Shouldn't be too hard of a matchup though. Like, you kind of already went over it, but the TA won't struggle too much. Maybe once you got the Avalanche up, you can start getting through the refraction charges, but even then, the likelihood is you won't be able to really burst down the TA throughout this laning stage, at least without some help. And Tay should be able to just secure all the CS he'd like. It's trying to go for the deny of the range creep, but it does not work out. Very unfortunate there. Whoa, that's a nice side blades out, getting the courier. At least Kits did get his bottle off the courier, so that's one positive, but you'd be kind of annoyed about that. The Sideblade's just hitting away and sniping it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things with a TA. You have to really watch your spacing. You have to watch where you walk on the map. As a melee here, it's always really awkward. Kits can still kind of sustain. With a bottle up, water rune gets picked up. So Tay is going to have to, deal with a refresh. Tiny, he doesn't mind too much. He's way ahead in last. It's 14-3 compared to 11-1. As the wave starts to stabilize, the TA should start to be able to also dip into the jungle. And that's one way to get that massive gold injection. It gives us a chance to peek at the other lanes while they're focusing on the farm. Down bot, you've got Zor on that Centaur with Justice on that Snapfire. On the opposite side, you've got Y on the Oracle, along with Cassius on that Wraith King. So Wraith King Oracle can be pretty potent. You can play around with Fortunes and the Wraith Fire Blast stun to run heroes down. But these are still really tanky heroes to try and jump, and you have to watch for the cookie stun place as well.
Wraithfire Blast was on a creep there from Cassius C. I think he was trying to aim Justice on the Snapfire, but obviously that didn't pan out. Unfortunate there for Cassius C. Justice, he's going to be able to pull away this small camp and deny the pull there from Y. It's going to make life a little bit harder now for the Wraith King. In fact, never mind, he still finds 2 creeps. It's actually kind of optimal anyway. So, looking back up the top lane, Yellow Flash actually dropping very low in terms of HP. He's going to get salved up. Sabo is pretty low himself, but is not going to have any regen on him on this Enchantress. And they will dive him straight away. Yellow Flash just going for the Time Walk as soon as he spots him out, and that was a very nice, easy kill.
Yeah, a pretty quick burst on the Ench. At the very least for Sabo, it's a bit of a reset. He was playing on edge. Keeping himself in that lane with no regen was a bit of a risk. So this time around, he will show up. He's got the Blightstone up, so he should be able to harass a little bit better every single time he goes for the right-click trades, especially against Koyaanisqatsi. But you're already off to a good start here for Yellow Flash. 18-0 compared to Cassius C at 14-3. Definitely a good time for the Faceless Void, which is good news. Because the Void doesn't really flash farm in the jungle all too well unless you go for a Mask of Madness. Compared to a Wraith King who can play with Skeletons, you need this initial start to hold on to an early injection of gold over the Wraith King before he starts to build up.
Certainly so. Sabo, he's going to make his way back up top now. Try to continue slowing down this Void. Sword's doing a pretty darn good job on the Timber of just kind of zoning out Yellow Flash, and there's not much he can do against the Timber. Just got to be very careful about how much damage he takes as Cassius C ends up going down, tips out from Tay. That's a pretty bad sign, as now topside, Sabo's been caught out. Got frozen there for a second. Bashes finally coming in for Yellow Flash. Sword is going to be around to try and help. Yellow Flash now dropping quite low, needs to be careful. He has Time Walk in a few seconds. It may not be enough time, or it just barely is. He will survive, but now Kits is moving in on the Tiny. They want to go for a dive. Chains forward. The chase will continue onto Yellow Flash. He only had the level 1 Time Walk. It's a very low cooldown, and they'll be able to find both up at that top side. Kits, he gets very low on the Tiny, but not quite low enough. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Zor ends up getting Cassius C again.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I think you're happier here for Felt, just because you found that safe lane kill without having to rotate your TA. So Tay is just able to keep farming the jungle while your Tiny's forced out of lane, forced to find a kill. Those are still 2 good kills for Kits. That lines up for a bit of a quicker blink timing at least, although it looks like he might be deviating for phase boots first. But it should still give Kits that ramp up on the Tiny. I worry about how much free space Tay is getting though. This is just way too free of a lane. Already has the power treads up, saving for the Deso. The good news here for Wind and Rain is that they do take the top tier 1, so they can start shifting down bot.
They do. Zor gonna get bursted down by Sword. They want to just deny off the tier 1, and that's a very nice deny there from Sword. Look at that gold for Felt. It's not going to feel very nice for them. Going back to your point though, Tay is certainly having a very good time. And it's one thing you really don't want to underestimate, how effective a farm TA can be throughout that mid game. That is exactly what Tay is going to be if this farm keeps up, as there is nothing to slow him down. And you don't have much in the way of a TA counter either. Like again, I feel like the only thing you have really to try and deal with the refraction is the Avalanche and maybe the Fortune's End. But this TA, once you've got the Deso up, you might just keep farming towards a Blink Dagger early on, but he can start to get involved, and again, I just don't see how they're going to be able to deal with him once this mid game hits.
It's going to be difficult. Like, maybe if you get a Radiance and Cassius E, that constant burn can help to take away at the refraction as well and prevent the blinks. But that's still a long way out for a Wraith King, especially this kind of start for Cassius E. So they have to keep playing the stall game. Whereas for Felt, I think even with this kind of slower farm for Yellow Flash, as soon as they hit chrono timing, they can look to play a lot faster.
Well, Zor, he stampeded back into Kits. He gets Avalanche tossed immediately. He's going to try and run. Kits on the chase, though. Avalanche up in 3, but he's not going to keep chasing down the Centaur. We'll salve up Zor and try to give him a bit of a reset.
Dire should look to their
There are
bottom
more heroes coming in, though. Y and Sabo still around, and of course, you've still got Kits there on the Tiny to try and set up if he needs to. In fact, he'll try right now. But the toss is going to be on the wrong target. So Zor won't really take much damage. Still, they are seemingly targeting the Centaur still. They might just turn onto Kiona Scutzy instead. He's going to be able to get himself out, and it looks like this rotation up to the top lane just leads to nothing.
And you're kind of fine with that for Felt. You're forcing 3 heroes up top. The Timbersaw was still doing a good job of zoning out this Faceless Void on Yellow Flash, but they're still stalling out for the TA. They are lining up for mid. This could be a big objective to take if they're allowed to.
They're going to try. They get the stun off. Tay, he's still going to be alright. A nice cookie forward onto Kits. Avoids the whole Avalanche as now Zor gets the kill. Yellow Flash, he'll show up. You've got the chrono, but he is not committing it yet. The Mortimer's Kisses may have been enough to kill Sword. Now he does commit it, and it looks like it's not going to matter anyway. So they'll get him in the end. The Cold Feet will freeze him up, and Tay, he wants a bit more. Stampede going to be popped. They'll take an easy kill out onto Sabo. There was not much in the way Wind and Rain could done to try and fight back. It's a very aggressive kind of dive in that mid lane, and obviously it doesn't really pan out in their favor.
And they need to respect that Void a bit more. And the initiation onto Tay was just not lined up. Tay managing to get the cookie, very well timed coming out from Justice to land the chain stuns. And they still look to make moves towards mid. They understand how important it is to cut off the revenue stream of Tay here by invading that jungle. And to do that, they really need to take out this mid-tier 1. But just feels like they've got to be cautious. Every single time the teamfight spots are up, it's going to be risky. This is probably the best time while Chrono is down to force something out. But Tay is just kind of right-clicking down Sword, and he's still fairly squishy here.
Yeah, Sword going to be a little bit more cautious than this. Tay, so much damage up, but with the meld strikes, they get the kill. He was hanging around that mid-tier 1 tower again, and I know the Timber wants to tank the tier 1 and just allow his team to hit that tower and get it down ASAP. But they keep getting punished for the exact same movement. I wonder if they'll go for it again. It just doesn't seem like the side of Feld are willing to let this tier 1 go down, and I can't quite blame them. I just don't think they're going to be able to get it anytime soon. Not without a pick-off at least.
It's really difficult. Likely you need the Blink here on Kits to start finding some better pick-off targets here. Gold for the Blink still about 700 away. Compare that to the timing from Tay. Desolator is up. He is rushing the Blink next, which is still fine, but you know, it allows you to fight a little bit earlier compared to the Ags. I think the Ag should still be something the TA will consider, but it still has impact even if you get it played. So all the strong and they're going in.
Yeah, Kits, he's been caught out. Ice Blast, Mortimer's Kisses, everything being thrown in. Y just could not save him. In fact, now Y needs to try and save himself. You've got the false promise, but he probably doesn't really want to commit it. Sabo's going to try and help him out. Y, he'll eventually commit it on himself. Try and buy some time, but it looks like he is guaranteed to die anyway. He just can't heal through it. Very, very rough time right now for Wind and Rain as well, Felt. they are just all over the map. You've got Chrono back up now as well for Yellow Flash, so the next time Mortimer's Kisses is available, I imagine they just go back in for another team fight. There's nothing really to slow down Felt. They know they've got the advantage here, and their draft is just stronger at this time of the game.
Yeah, they're hitting their mid-game spike. Their TA is very much more farmed up compared to, say, even Kits. And this is the one thing with a Tiny. When you lag behind like this, when you don't hit your blink timing, it feels really subpar. So they just need to wait the 300 gold for the blink and then hope to find some squishy targets. Did you catch out Zor here?
You say caught out. He's fine right now. They chain forward. Ice Blast gonna be there. Sword. He's gonna connect. Kid's now gonna rock up and he'll go after Koyana Skatsi. Sword still wanting to try for Zor, but there's your Stampede out now. Zor, he has some help around Tay. Just waiting in the shadows. Kits gets blown up in 2 shots. And Sword is gonna try and run. He's still not safe either. But he'll be able to chain away as they continue chasing them down. Zor is gonna spawn out Sabo. Sword again being slowed down by the trap. They are not going to be able to keep up. He's going to be safe this time. But you saw how fast that Tiny died, John. That was a 2-shot.
Oh, yeah. Just such good angling from TA. Very patient. And that's just the TA minus armor. You get max level meld hits. That's going to be -8 plus the -6 on the Deso. So there's a ton. And Tiny still doesn't have too much. No grow up, although you find a pick off at least.
I mean, it's Koyana Skatsi, right? Like, it's the Pos 5 AA. That's going to be your target that you can always guaranteed just blow up every single time if your Kits. Obviously, he wants to get to the point where he can kill somebody else, but well, at least now he does have the blink up, and that should allow them to start being a little bit more aggressive on the side of Wind and Rain. I suppose on the bright side, Cassius is still freely farming on the Wraith King, but it just seems like such a slower process than, say, Tay on the TA, who's looks like he's already got the blink up on that TA. That's going to be a cause of concern now, as they may make the jump onto Yellow Flash. He's got the Chrono up. They need to be very careful, but a nice snare there that should lock him down, and they blow him up. Very nice play there from Wind and Rain. Felt they weren't able to close the gap to be able to try and protect that Void, but they might still take a team fight. The trap does connect on Sabo. No, they aren't going to commit.
See, that's the big kill Wind and Rain was looking for to slow down Yellow Flash. They needed some breathing room for Cassius here. Like, even though the Wraith King is kind of keeping up, number 2 in that fort, it's not like Yellow Flash is lagging behind. I think you expect a little bit more farm on Wraith King, considering that he's got better camp clearing potential with his Skeleton summons. So the fact that your Void's actually keeping up in this way after that slower lane, after not getting farm priority in the jungle, that's still good news here.
Oh, Cassius C. Oh, it's going to connect. The Ice Blast just on the edge. He'll lose his first life. Of course, they aren't going to dive in for the second yet. But now that they know the reincarnation's down, Tay's going to have a look for this. Look at the damage. Half his HP lost over side blades. They aren't going to commit, though. They'll let him go.
Just playing safe. It's a bit too close to the tier 2. They know that the triangle's a big unknown right now. Felt has no vision there. There's a possibility that Wind and Rain's playing around that area. Kits is lining up top. Zor doesn't have the full hood of Defiance, so the combo could still burst him off if they're fast enough here.
Need the timber around. Sword is making his way up. There's your toss-up with the Avalanche. It's not quite enough yet, but now with the Whirling Death, maybe. They do pop the Stampede. Sword just going to make sure he gets himself out, while the rest of his team is pushing down the bottom T2 tower. So no matter how you look at it, Felt, they're just finding the positive out of every single trade. There's not really going to be a trade here for Wind and Rain. They might try to chip the tier 2 top tower, but they're not going to have anywhere near enough time to actually get it down.
And Felt, after taking that bot, are looking for a smoke play. They could go to the Roche, but more than likely they want to pick off first. They could just burst some of these heroes down real quick.
Why not just sword? Cookie, not going to land. Meld Strike will, though. They get the trap. Sword's still going to try and chain away. Zor unable to land the stun, but it just won't matter. Tay is just hitting like an absolute truck. Kids. Avogander does find a kill onto Kionaskanti again. But this may cost him his own life. He's run out of mana. Mortimer's Kisses, they are going to reach, but the chase is on. Tay should have just enough. But no, blink away the trap. Not doing any damage. So Kits is going to be alright.
Yeah, it's a nice save for Kits, so they don't lose as much as they could have there for the side of Wind and Rain. I think Felt, they've still got a big threat over the head of Wind and Rain, though. They still hold the Chrono, they still hold the combination on hand with Chrono Ice Blast. They could look to leverage that if they want to. They've got Vision in the Roche Pit with the Trap up there as well. So they could easily dive into the Roche at some point, melt it down with his Deso. I love that Tay is going for the BKB. He knows that if he can just stand and fight, there's just no solution coming through from Wind and Rain, and TA is just going to hit all these spikes. Oh,
yeah, Avalanche tosses out. Zor gonna jump in. Tay's still perfectly fine. They want to blow up Sword, but the false promise is gonna be there in time, and now Tay's dropping quite low, but now a big Chrono out. Yellow Flash gonna turn right back around with his team. Gonna be Sword gone, Kids. He drops just as fast. Cassius C is going to try and run. There's 19 seconds for his reincarnation to be off cooldown, but they aren't going to focus him anyway. They'll go after Y instead. Y is going to get to the tier 2 tower though, but Tay's not done. He wants the Meld Strike on that Oracle. He's not going to find it. Instead onto Sabo they go. They will get the Enchantresses. Now Y try to turn around to help out, but is going to die. His Yellow Flash, he has the Diffusal Blade up in the Void. Does purge him up, and it just continues to get worse and worse for the side of Wind and Rain. Even with the Radiance up, it just doesn't do enough.
It's definitely not enough. You saw just how awkward it is to open on the TA when Refraction's up. Avalanche Toss just does not melt Refraction. So you manage to still blink away, you save yourself, and then you get the counter initiation out from Zor. It all lines up for Felt. Wind and Rain now, I think they need to maybe try to build up more on Cassius C. They need to wait out for the Ag Shard, and Cassius is going to need it. Like, there's no way you survive with that Diffusal up on Yellow Flash. It's just going to melt your mana before you can reincarnate, and you're just not going to have that utility on the Wraith King. Great deny coming out from Justice with a cookie to stall out.
Zor?
They don't even get that goal there.
Bit of a cheeky stun in from Zor. Kids, he's going to have a look for a toss back on Kionaskanti, but he's not going to get it, and it's going to cost him his own life. Now Yellow Flash is in a big time dilation out as well. Sword can't really get away from this. He's going to drop. Sabo will try to back off, and so will Y, but slowly but surely they are going to get the kills off. It's a repeat of what just happened. Cassius C, the only one to make it out of there on the Wraith King. The rest of his team just dropping so darn quick. And now the Roshan is exposed, Felt. They'll just make their way in.
And this is going to be a real quick Roche. Solar Crest up in Justice. Look at all that minus armor.
Roche they get clear to Scutsy. Cassius C, he did get Ice Blasted, but he's not going to get punished. He'll get an easy AA kill. But the Roshan is still going to drop the way it felt.
You don't mind that. You sacrifice out the AA to clear out a free Roche. Very worthwhile for the side of Felt. 9k lead now, 8 to 19. And Felt, they're hitting all their item beats. Like, Yellow Flash is really nicely farmed. There's just no lead coming through from Cassius here. That's just a worrying point. It's not that he's behind a TA. It's that he's barely ahead of the Faceless Void. Which means that you're not able to really use your skeletons much in the jungle. You're not able to really just clear out these lanes with your Radiance. You're not able to find these objectives to give the Wraith King gold injection. The progression here from Kits as well. After the blink, it's just stalled out. The Echo Saber's coming out soon, although...
Yeah, Zor's in. Big hoof stomp out on Cassius C. Justice going to show up with a cookie, but that won't land. Neither will the Ice Blast. Still, they have Chrono up. They want to go for a big team fight. Cassius C. Not going to turn around. Felt, they aren't going to go too deep. May as well just wait out the Ice Blast, and it is going to be up in about 15 seconds from now. Instead, mid lane, Sabo will be spotted by the TA trap, and Tay's got a haste rune. Sabo, he's going to buy some time, but never mind, it's not going to really be that much time. Double Edge proving to be more than enough.
Way too much. They still have Chrono to play with. Kisses are up. Ice Blast is back up. Yellow Flash could just commit here.
Meld Strike, Cassius C, already dropping so darn low, but he's going to be able to make himself an exit plan and get himself out of there. Melt, the tier 2 mid tower, it's going to get glyphed. They're going to have to commit to fight if they want to defend this, though. They will not. Don't forget, you still got the Chrono up, you've got the Aegis up. So while Felt are going to back off for now, you expect a bit of a return to the high ground very soon. It looks like they might even just wait out Tay to finish off this Daedalus on the TA before he does go. He's already got the Chrysalis up. Oh, you might even see a Bloodthorn.
Yeah. I mean, we never really talked about it, but he got the Grove Bow up, which is so perfect with the TA. Look at that.
Why just dropped so quick? Cassius C going to try and fight along with a tiny bit of big cookie out. Ice Blast not going to land on anyone. That's one positive, and they will kill off Justice, but the buybacks are flying in, and now the lineup with the hoof stomp out. Cassius C going to lose his first life. Now the Chrono committed. Yellow Flash for a nice easy Chrono. False Promise is going to save for now, but Cassius C, he's going to have to try and man up here. Even through the False Promise, he probably won't survive and does not. Why? The Meld Strike, the right clicks, it is just too much. That's going to be an immediate dieback. Based is out from Kiana Scutzi.
Oh, simply too based, my friend.
Sabo.
Looking really good. Oh,
they are. Kids, Avalanche Toss, Justice, he'll die back now. This little kill down to the snap fire, but you're going to lose Sword as the trade. He won't have buyback on the Timber, and now Sabo. The Ice Blast going to fly through. Zora is in with the double edge. The right click's going to be a bit slow, but they have the Meld Strike, and that'll be another die back. Onto the tier 3 towers we go.
Yeah, just easy push coming through. They still hold the Aegis for about a minute, 10 seconds. They've got a lot of time here, and Wind and Rain just can't defend. Now, they can't get Megas, as there is still a top tier 1 here for Wind and Rain, so you're not going to be facing off against Mega Creeps. You will have one lane constantly shoved in, and the side of Felt are playing conservatively. They're not going to force the issue down. Bot respawns are still fairly short on Wind and Rain, so they're just going to be back up by the time they make it in. The Daedalus is up for Tay, though, so the burst damage is on hand. I think they could just look again. Maybe go for the top lane, clear out the tier 1, tier 2. Just keep the lanes all shoved out. Punish anyone coming up here.
Why? He's probably just going to get deleted. Oh, Fate's Edict. It's going to be quite nice. Tay is thinking about continuing, but doesn't want to risk losing the Aegis for no real reason.
One side's misstep is the other's cunning.
Suppose he was hoping for a big crit there, but doesn't get it. Nevertheless, top tier 1 tower, gonna drop for free. They can easily just go for the top tier 2 as well. It's not really much in the way of stopping them. Aegis does expire though. They get onto the tier 2. Backdoor protection going to keep it protected as Kids jumps in. Avalanche Toss is big. Stampede is away. Kids might just drop here, but they do at least get Zor. They've lost Sword to boot. Cassius C is going to try and fight against Yellow Flash, but he almost has Chrono, and what a crit coming out. He's lost his first life already. Tay's going to move in again. Another big Meld Strike. Sabo, he just needs to run right now. Can he make it out? Not quite. The cold feet will be enough as Kids gets another toss back onto Justice, but it's going to cost him his own life. It'll be a triple kill out for Yellow Flash as Tay is not done. He will take down Wyatt to boot. There is only Cassius C left, and they call it. GG well played. Felt will be able to get the 2-0 victory, and that way they are still within the grasp of being able to remain in the lower division for Season 3.
Yeah, they managed to hold on. They're going to force the tiebreaker between Felt and E-Boys and potentially 5-Man Midas. They play spectacularly well in Game 3. This was much more reminiscent of what we saw from Game 1, where Felt just played really cleanly. They got really good lanes. They hit their timings. Game 2 is a lot shakier. Game 3, they go with this Void combo, with a Snapfire, with the AA, and they have this amazing pop-off from Tay. 14-0-14. A perfect match on TA. Outstanding performance coming out from Felt. And just well played from them. Unfortunately for Win and Rain, that does mean it's their end of the journey in the DPC. That was their last series as well. So it looks like they will have to, work their way back in for Season 3, have to play through opens and closed qualifiers. We'll see if they will manage to ride through that. But props to Felt. They managed to win, and they could still stay in here for the next season.
Yeah, I mean, it's not guaranteed yet, but Felt has at least given themselves a chance to try and fight their way back up. I'm very curious to see how these tiebreaker scenarios are going to work out once the final games are over for this lower division. Do we have an interview on the way, John? Do we know?
I'm not too sure. I haven't gotten word, so we might not. I'm going to double check real quick,
Okay.
of course, just to ensure that we know. But for anything else, while we're waiting on the interview, don't forget there's a giveaway here on the BTS channel with XBG. Enter the BTS giveaway for a chance to win an XBG Xenia XE Gaming Lifestyle Ultrabook or a XBG Summoner keyboard and BTS swag. There's a link in the chat or the banner below. There's 4 winners, and you have through May 23rd to enter, so make sure those entries fly in. It's almost time to close out. You don't want to miss out on the chance to win one of those sweet XBG Xenia Gaming Lifestyle notebooks. Very nice stuff. Still waiting to see if we've got anything set. I'm not really getting a response here. I mean, if we do get Felt, if we do get Koya Niskatsi again, that would be one of the dankest interviews ever, as we did have him last time. He was going ham there as well.
I mean, I respect the guy. Obviously, he's getting out there. He's letting everyone know what he's like, what his personality's like, and I think it's very important when you are a little bit more unknown that you start showing off a bit of your personality. And do we have him, John? Is that what you're laughing about? What is it?
No, I was just thinking back to another interview yesterday with after the Arkosh match. We had Jenkins. He was brought in by the lawyers of BSJ for whatever reason. He talked about his bicep reduction with a triceratops on top. I don't know how the dinosaurs came in there. It was an outstanding set of circumstances for Mr. Jenkins. Hopefully he's doing well.
He's had a tough
as
time.
we wait to find out. Yeah, he has. I'm that bicep reduction, man. Every single time,
biceps.
it's way too big. Way too big. It's not normal. It's definitely not normal to just keep having it grow out. And we are still waiting for a response. So we'll find out very soon as to what goes on. But Felt, I would be keen to see what their mindset's in. They stay in. They were from season 1. They hanged on. They're hanging on now. So we'll have to see what ends up. But yeah, just a bit more waiting here, Mr. Mike.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Oh.
All right, we've got Koya Scott.
All right.
Part 2.
All right. Fair enough. We'll bring him in. We'll see how he's doing. Hello, Mr. Kuyonoskatsi. Congratulations on your victory, sir. How are you doing after that 2-1 victory?
I'm doing good. Work sucked today, so I'm gonna go sleep after this.
All right, that's fair enough.
I'm glad you get to take your nap. I'll ask you before John gets to ask. What do you do for work, sir?
I'm a software engineer.
Wow. That explains a lot. I think that explains all the alt chat, all of the memes. I know you software engineers are pretty insane to read code like that and work on code. So it kindly finally gives me some background there. Now, Koi, I've got to ask, you keep talking about skateboarding. Are you a skateboarder? Were you a Tony Hawk fan back in the day?
I mean, kind of. I had Tony Hawk Pro Skater on the PlayStation, and I rocked Kareem Campbell all day. So, I mean, basically, it's like the same thing. I'm sure I could pick one up and immediately know how to kickflip,
Very good.
Very nice. Nice. You could do a kickflip on demand then. If I asked you right now to turn on your cam and do it, could you do it?
Yeah,
if ever.
do it. So don't ask. Save your breath.
Alright.
Dude, you can just toy around with me like a puppet on a string. I don't know what that's about.
No, definitely not, Koi.
Do
Definitely
a trick.
not.
I'm not doing shit.
I'm curious. You guys won your series. You guys are potentially facing a tiebreaker with 5-man minus, and potentially with 5-man minus, and definitely with E-boys. How do you guys feel about your chances there against those teams in terms of hanging on to the lower div here?
Why are you guys asking us that? We already know the answer. Whichever one of those poor idiots has got to face us, I feel bad for him. That's all I gotta say.
Well, we love to hear. Scotty, I want to take it back a bit. Game number 2 was a pretty rough time for you guys. Can you kind of run me through what happened? What went wrong in game 2 for the side of Team Felt?
Yeah, drafter sucks. I don't know what happened. Let me look back at the heroes. I'm sure we had like no stuns or something. I'm sitting there playing a Baden, just like clicking shield like some kind of mindless idiot. I don't even know. Everyone just like fed. They had Medusa. That's a really cool hero. Thank you.
Oh goodness.
All right, I guess that does.
I'm looking at it right now. I have like a bot's first Void Spirit on my team. I would report that guy for sure.
Oh god. All right. I've got to ask. This is a bit off topic. I'm not sure, but have you heard about the situation with Arkosh? Like, did you watch the interview there? Jenkins had some words about bicep reduction. You as a player, is there anything you're physically worried about while playing Dota? Are you worried about your biceps going through strong? You've been typing a lot. Your hands are getting really strong there. Boy, is there anything that we have to watch out for from you coming into that tiebreaker?
I didn't watch that interview, but Jenkins is a complete baboon. You should not listen to a single word that he says. Number one, the typing prowess like increases your finger muscles, not your biceps. That guy needs to read a book or something. Go to WebMD, check something out. There's something wrong there. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Thank you for the anatomy lesson. I'll keep that in mind. I didn't know that. I thought the biceps grew stronger from typing. My bad.
Unless you get like one of those like crazy keyboards that's like split in two and he's got it hanging up on the wall. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that guy runs. Dota and VR, who knows?
Yeah, why not?
One final question, sir, because I know you want to go to bed. Last week, or rather last time we spoke to you, I did ask you if you had any message for the fans. Now, you said you didn't have any fans, but I checked the VOD, and there were people that were fans of you, especially after that last interview. So I'll ask you again, do you have any kind of words for your fans out there that are watching right now?
Yeah, leave me alone. What the hell? Why do I have fans? That's like stalkerish, dude. I just play video games. Leave me alone. That's crazy.
There you go. Well, with that,
I would be a fan of the guy playing a bat and walking around clicking shield on other people. Like, what kind of loser would be a fan of that? If you're a fan of 5 players, like, I don't know. You got something wrong with you. Be a fan of like the person playing mid, clicking like crazy void spear shit. That hero's got shit flying everywhere. I don't know what Ice Frog was thinking. How's that cool?
With that, I think we'll let you go. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of sleep, sir.
Oh, I got one question, okay?
Sure.
All right.
No pressure. No pressure. Just, calm mind, answer to the best of your abilities, okay?
Go on.
All right. Who is the MVP of that game?
Ooh.
Think about it.
Ooh,
I mean, I'd say Tay, to be perfectly honest with you. What happened?
He bailed when you said
bailed.
Tay. He's like, all right, I'm out.
Wow,
That's
he's
it.
gone. All right, there you go. The man doesn't want to say bye. He has no message for his fans. Nothing.
And you said Tay. He was right there. He wanted it to be him. He just said how Pos 5s are, just they get the shit jobs, as he would say. And you said Tay in his face, so he ran off.
I mean, he did go 1-6-8. I mean, it was a decent performance. I'll give him that. It's very hard to play AA into Tiny, but he did a great job. Definitely some very nice Ice Blast there, Mr. Koyana. There you go. I'll give him a compliment, even though he refuses to give anyone else a compliment. There you go. That's it for today. Wind and Rain, again, unfortunately, they will have to be regulated out of the lower division. Felt they will be now accessible towards tiebreakers. So we'll see how that all pans out as the games do come to a close for the Season 2 of the lower division of the NADPC. Apart from that, though, I think that's enough for us as well, John. I think we are going to be back relatively soon, though. Maybe the last day of the NADPC. Not 100% sure right yet, but we'll find out soon. For all the viewers, thank you very much for watching, as usual. We do appreciate it, and we all hope you have a very lovely day ahead. We'll see you next time.